Perk, you tweeted before the game, Team USA is going to win by 20, and then said, don't at me. Well, I'm guessing some people are atting you right now. What was going through your mind when you watched the Aussies win that game down the stretch?
Well, Dave, look, it was a lot of things going on in my mind at that time, and I'm going to share two of them with you. God bless America and pray for America because they need it, especially Team USA right now. I mean, look, defensively, they can't guard a parked car, okay? This is what happens when you put a team together with all offensive-minded guys and only two defensive-minded guys. They don't defend. Offensively, they play the same staggered offense. Isolation ball, drive and kick. It's so easy to guard. Here's the problem that I have. Gregg Popovich just went at the media guy for doing his job. He simply asked a question, right? And he just went at that poor man for no reason. I wonder if he's going at those guys in the locker room, keeping the same energy with them. That's what he needs to be focused on because, look, we could blame 50% on the players, but we have to give Gregg Popovich some criticism as well because he's being out-coached. So how about him going look in the mirror and actually criticizing himself and actually trying to bully himself and saying, you know what, I got to do better.
It is a strange situation the Team USA finds itself in. Now, there is time. There's a week and a half to try to get things right, work on the conditioning and work on your late-game execution. In your mind, is Team USA in trouble heading into the games?
You know what? I'm kind of straddling the fence, okay, and I'm in between because I'm waiting to see once the finals are over because then they'll get Drew Holiday, at least a guy that will try to play defense on the perimeter. But look, to Team USA, they have to realize these guys are some of the best players out of their country, and they're on a mission. Team USA has a target on their back. A lot of these guys that are playing for the other countries, right, they play in the NBA. They have a point to prove. This is not going to be a cakewalk. So right now, if I had to bet my house on it, I'd keep my house and wouldn't place a bet at all when it comes down to Team USA. And don't you at me on that, David Lloyd. How about that one?
I don't at anybody, and I would never at you, Perk.
What's the biggest concern that Gregg Popovich and his staff need to address moving forward?
Well, first of all, Gregg Popovich got to address Gregg Popovich because he's been falling off like leaves in the wintertime, okay? And he has to get his team under control. And when I say that, he has to address them and hold them accountable on the defensive side of things. Right now, they're giving up everything. Teams are looking at them and saying, you know what, if we play hard, if we cut hard, we could get whatever we want. He already don't have the personnel defensively to go out there and just let guys play freely. Offensively, put them in better sets. Quit having them playing random basketball. But Gregg Popovich has to look himself in the mirror as well and get better because he has clearly been out-coached in these last two games, and especially in the first game by Mike Brown.
Wow, that says a lot there. And Mike Brown, of course, a longtime assistant for the Golden State Warriors and head coach back in the day as well. You got to ask about the fatigue. I mean, I do feel like it's worth the question considering this is such a condensed season. A lot of these guys, also in Australia, though, too, are coming off of the NBA playoffs. Is that a factor in your mind?
No, not at all,
okay.
Sage. And here's why, right? You had the option. You had the option to play for the USA team. You didn't. It wasn't an obligation, so you had the option to either play or not to play. These guys decided to play, and so now they got to get held to a higher standard. You're representing your country. It's all about pride and humility. This is why when you go out there and you see teams like Nigeria, and you see teams like last night, like the Australian team, you saw those guys, they were least talented, but they were playing with a certain type of pride. So, no, I can't give the guys who are out there on the court representing Team USA a pass about, you know, what happened for us this season or whatever, because they had an option. So they're there, they have to produce.
Real quick, do you think there's a lack of pride with the American players right now, Perk?
I do. And you could just tell by their effort. When you don't see guys making the extra effort plays on the defensive side of things, that's pride. I mean, we could talk about schemes, we could talk about coaching, we could talk about all these things across the board. But at the end of the day, if you want to guard somebody, it comes within yourself. You got to have that pride. And I'm not seeing that from the Olympic team right now.
And that's something that even Gregg Popovich can't address. That is something that, as you said, is something within yourself.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.